Malambuong buntag to everyone, and we are now in our fourth and last session of the EXORDIUM program. And this morning, we are going to talk about virtual tools. And we will put this into context. Why virtual tools? Because this is based on the survey, and we are considering your role as admin officers, and that you said in the survey that you wanted to learn about virtual tools to have knowledge management and you want to use it for intra or inter office communication. All right. So, just as a disclaimer, what we're going to talk about are actually free tools or project management tools, free OS. Some companies use paid tools like Monday.com, we have Asana, Trello, and all that. These are very good operating tools. You can use it for teams or for the company or for your department. However, you're going to pay for that. So, my suggestion is if you have a budget, you can try to propose that you purchase or you use them. But for now, we are discussing free tools, right? So this will be like an alternative that you can maximize. So this morning we have a very short time. So this is an overview. The specific commands for the tools again can be in other sessions or in other training programs. So this is an overview. It's just generic, right? Again, we can have more detailed discussions in another venue. And so the free tools are mostly go from Google. So we're very Google based right now, and we're using Google because it does its functions real time, and it allows the team or your team, the department, the office to have synchronized transactions or inputs there in whatever thing that you're doing, and it is transparent, not in an accountability sense, but transparent as to the idea that everyone that are included or should be included in the transaction are actually involved because they can see everything real time and synchronized. So, yeah. What are the Google apps that we're going to discuss? So, we have Gmail, right? We have Google Drive, Google Forms, and Calendar, the Google Calendar. There are many other apps, but as what can be used for your workplace or in the office or the department, these are the four that we're gonna talk about, the four virtual tools. All right. So email. Why are we talking about emails using Gmail? Because it is very effective and efficient for electronic filing. So you have there in the email, you can have the copies, the electronic copies, the digital copies of whatever file document that you need. And, and this is also in response to the COVID situation. It has been heightened because of COVID, which actually is very helpful. So of course there are some documents that need to be in hard copy submitted to your office, but I think a lot of the other things just need to be recorded. So an electronic copy is good enough. So as admin officers, I suggest you do this. And also we are going to use email or specifically Gmail because this is your digital footprint, meaning to say when you use the email, there is a confirmation unless the email will or the message will bounce. It means to say it has been received. So that is evidence that they submitted or that you responded. And then the thread, this is very important. Some would like to communicate or have started communicating through Facebook Messenger or other things, but there the communication, the thread can be quite long, and lisod isunod, lisod magbackread. But if you have the email and then you have a good subject that is very specific for a certain file, when people respond to that, then it's very easy to look for that file under that, so you can have the thread. It will be there forever. Again, that's evidence. So I am strongly suggesting using the email, whether Yahoo or Gmail, because it has a professional approach or a professional look to it. When you use the email, we tend to be more courteous, more formal, more correct or articulate or complete when you use the email. So um, basically, you know what I mean. I guess that's why some are not using it, because you'd rather be informal. But as admin officers, as part of your work, it is important that you use this. So my tips when using the email is that, especially as admin officers, when using the office email, is have a logo, the closing and the signature, and have a standardized reply. So I'll show you some examples of what I received during the touchdown program. So these are past communications, but these are good examples of how your email response or communication to others would look like. So first we have the Provincial Legal Office. So you can see there is the logo there, and then acknowledging receipt. Very simple. And then they have this closing and signature from Attorney Bebelon. So it's complete, it's there, very short, no need for much effort. You can just even copy paste it or have it standardized. Another example is from the Provincial Budget Office. So just like that, from Sir Clint, received with thanks, very truly yours, and then that's it. Complete again, now with the electronic signature, really. Another example is from the Provincial Veterinary Office. So you can say greetings, it's complete, and then the signature of Dr. Resma. So these are examples, good examples of how we communicate through email. Diba? It's nice, it's polite. When you receive it, it makes you feel good. Yeah, good day, thank you, it's something like that. So more on email tips, please check your grammar. I mean, there's nothing I can do really if you're not into that. But the very least is when you say acknowledge. Because when you receive something and when you say acknowledge, you're ordering the person to acknowledge. When you mean that you're acknowledging it, put a D, please, acknowledged. So grammar is a big thing, but again, this is not the venue. But on the presumption that your admin officers already, that maybe it is a clerical error. So just make sure that you have correct grammar when you reply, because again, that is evidence. That will be your digital footprint. If it's wrong grammar now, it will be wrong grammar forever. So note reply command. So there are some communications through email that need to have everyone involved and some not. What do I mean? Say for example, if this is the right side portion, upper right of your email, please take note of this portion when you want to reply. So there is an arrow and there are three buttons there. 3 points. So look at them, because if you click them, you have options to either reply to the person who sent the message, or reply to all. So everyone included in that message will be able to see your reply. And when you use forward, please use forward if you have attachment and you want to send the attachment also. All right. So this may seem basic, but in my transactions or my email communications uh, with the province, there are times that others need not see your reply. So, but I guess they responded to reply to all. And some, I think, need others to know, but they only just clicked on reply. So the others did not know. So just be familiar and be very meticulous when you try to send a reply. So note reply commands. Also, file in folders. As admin officers, I presume that you're very OC or you want to be really organized even in your email. So I suggest that you have folders so that you will not have a long thread there in your inbox. So, as an example, so if this is how your inbox looks like, so if you're going to click on one message, for example, there, if you're going to click on that, it will give you options to move. So you can create new or you can move to a folder. So for example, that message from Veronica, create a folder, something like that. And if you have already a folder, for example, I have HRMO, that's one folder. A subfolder is the Exordium program. So you don't have to have everything in your inbox. When you open your inbox, it's, it's, there's just so much there. So I suggest you use folders. And now, speaking of folders and sharing this time, we're going to talk about Google Drive. Now, again, I'm presuming that you attended the touchdown program. So I I really am presuming you're the ones who are doing that, the exercises. So this, what I'm going to discuss is basically like a recap or a review of the functions of Google Drive. So we're using Google Drive for file sharing because it has 15 gig free storage, right? Some cloud storage give free like storage capacity of 5 gig. I think the best free is Google Drive. So others, you can have others. You can purchase them. Again, we're talking about free apps. So Google Drive has the biggest free storage. So let's use it. And we also use Google Drive. You wonder why if you're not really familiar. Because if your files are more than 25 MB, the Gmail will say that the file is too large. So it will really divert you to Google Drive. So might as well prepare yourself to share files in Google Drive, before getting the command. All right. And in Google Drive, you can share files and folders. Files, whatever file. Could be videos, audios, basically big files. And you can also have folders. You can organize them and you can share either the specific file or the specific folder or the entire drive actually. So it's very convenient if you just want to share the information as long as it's not confidential, because everything there is real time. Somebody submits something, somebody does something to a document, it's reflected there right on the dot at the very moment, ATM. So, and this one is what I like is you have control as to who can access it. If you're going to share it, you can share it through a link or links, or you can share it also to others, but you have the option to have them as editors, as viewers, collaborators. So say for example, you don't want them to edit the document, so they can only be viewers. But for example, like in the touchdown program that you needed to edit, then they can be editors right then and there. So I think we have a lot of experiences about submitting and editing files in Google Drive. So I really hope that you will maximize, exploit Google Drive for your files. This one, access in the accessing or giving control. For example, in the touchdown assignment, please take note, this is on the upper left, yeah, of the drive. So it says there, or the folder. So it says there details and activities. So in the details, it says who has access. So these are the people. So we have what, like 15 people, 16 people who have access to touchdown assignment 9. Now, if you click on activity, then you would know, for example, on August 18, BIP PEO edited the item, an Excel file. No? And then last August 6, Marilyn Legaspi of Paso edited a file. So you can see it real time. That's why I said it's transparent. So be careful because, for example, if the owner of the document is very particular as to who can touch, who can do something to the document, then I really would know. That person would know. So again, transparency, accountability in your digital footprint. So Google Forms. Yes, Google Forms. I love this so much. It's very helpful. You can use it for attendance, evaluations. You have experience on this. So invitations, I don't know if you've done it, but you can also have invitations and surveys. This one, I think you've done a lot, either with me or with other entities or persons. uh, there's just a lot you can do with Google Forms. You can do quizzes, and you can do feedback forms, and just a lot. In fact, you can do it on your personal capacity. So maximize this. Try to tinker Google Forms. The best part is you can have duplicate copies, so you don't have to do everything. So you just edit some portions, and it just will make your life so much easier. And it's there. There is a record. There is a digital copy all the time. So, and also, for example, if you have evaluations, they will do the graph for you. So it's very easy visually. So just try it out. And Google Calendar. So this I started using on a personal capacity, but when people were starting to use Google Calendar, it's very like fun because, say for example, if someone will invite me using Gmail or Google, and then I click yes, it will automatically update my calendar, my personal calendar. So if you're like using it for the office, it's very good for event management. So it's good for inter and intra office communications, and for whatever communication or scheduling that you need to do, because it's a visual reminder in real time. All right. So I can see that you have boards in your office to guide you as to the events that are happening. So just as an example, so this is a weekly calendar. You can view it in different form. So this is a weekly visual reminder. So you can go color coding. If you have like blue, this means this department, or orange, or depending on the event. So for example, if I'm an admin officer, I can view it like, oh, okay, so all these days from Monday to Friday are full, or there are portions there. You can even view it per day, but I'm starting with per week, so you can see the schedules. Another example is per month, so you can see that there are already schedules for the month, so it can guide you when you manage your time, that okay, this days or this weeks will be very busy, or if somebody needs to have a schedule with your boss, and you can just say, oh yeah, he or she is vacant on that day. So try it. I don't know how to say it, but it's very, very helpful, especially in time management. In Yeah. So we've basically discussed emails, the Gmail, the Google Drive, Google Forms, and the Google Calendar. So again, these are free apps from Google. You can have more, you can have better tools for you for knowledge management and office communication, but this is an example of what you can use and how to use these tools to make you more effective and efficient in your job. So, my final tips regarding virtual tools is motivate yourself to keep on learning. You already had an input from Rero how to motivate others, but really, it's really about motivating yourself to keep on learning all the time. I think that has always been a mantra to everyone, but with COVID, it's really a challenge, and it's a challenge that we need to accept and we need to embrace to learn all these virtual tools. I think you started already with your data tracking system, your DTS, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not getting feedback as to how it's going, but hopefully it is doing well. But with the pandemic and the work from home and all the virtual transactions, you just have to learn. You just have to try, at least to try to learn, and master the basics, whether it is documenting or whether it is communicating, the basic either commands or basic how-tos, to-dos, basic politeness, basic courtesy. Just be reminded of the basics. All else is icing on the cake. If you know the basics, if you have a good foundation of things, then you'll have lesser stress, on how you're doing it. And practice effective time management. This has really been, I think, the gamut of some of the stress, because we don't know how to manage our time, and we think that we don't have a life anymore because we're just into this problem or this issue or this challenge. So you already had an input on time management, and I hope you will practice it, because we really want that. It is our dream that you start the day right, you end it right, and you have time for yourself, for the other aspects of your life, for yourself, for your sports, or for your me time, for your family, for other passions or advocacies. Because if you're not managing things right, you'll really not have a life. You'll be so stressed. So virtual tools is an option. It's an alternative, and this is something that we can use to our advantage, to our benefit. So motivate yourself to keep on learning, master the basics, practice effective time management. But for me, best of all is to be grateful. I hope you're grateful, or I want you to be grateful of your job, even if it's not perfect. I want you to be grateful of your function. Again, even if it's not perfect, that we have you sir you when you go to work, you have a purpose. Whatever it is, big or small, be grateful for the chance to do something, to be of use, to do something with meaning. But then again, it's really up to you if you want to see your work as something that basta na lang. Well, you're gonna end up so stressed, and so not so inspired and demotivated. But if, for example, you embrace, you accept the challenges, and you always tell yourself to be better, to do better, to respond better, then life will, or your life, whether personal or professional, will be more meaningful. It will be more fulfilling to you. So hopefully, as we continue to serve the people of Miss or to serve people as a whole, that we be grateful that we have this chance and this opportunity, and this Exordium program, and whatever learning sessions that you will have, is trying to help you to do that, to be that better person, or to be that best version of you. So that ends the last fourth session of the Exordium program on virtual tools, and I hope that what was tackled will be of help to your functions, to your job, to you as a whole. So again, malambuong buntag to everyone.